For those of you who have been viewing my videos for a while, you saw that the last update I did for my first set of locks was updating you all on how I was unhappy. My unhappiness boiled down to two things: not really knowing how to tie my hair up when I needed it out of my face, and lock envy. In my 23-month lock update, I went into detail about the former, so in this video, I'll discuss the latter. What drew me to the lock community was imagery of sisterlocks. I thought they were glorious, but once I learned of the financial costs, I didn't think it was a realistic option for me until I worked up the courage to do it myself. By the time I finished, I realized my parts were way too large to achieve the look I was going for, but I had already invested so much time into establishing my locks that I decided to stick with them. The locks I established and cultivated on my own ended up growing into a beautiful set of thick, airy, and voluminous locks. And even with what I had, I never did quite take my eyes off what I could have had in sisterlocks if only I had just done them right. I struggled with my fair share of lock envy throughout my first journey that ultimately served to contribute to the dissatisfaction I felt with what I had. Subsequently, I cut them off. 4 years later, on round 2, I was determined to get the part sizing right this time, and I did. I succeeded. I was ecstatic. Then I started to wonder if what I had fixed my eyes on all this time was really what I wanted. I had the teeny locks I thought would do the trick, only to realize after 4 months of trying them out, if you will, that I didn't actually want locks this small. I wanted locks that were markedly and unambiguously locks, which would mean locks larger in size. It was then that I understood that the locks I had unwittingly and accidentally established the first time around was really the set that spoke to what I ultimately would want. But at the time, I couldn't see that because my eyes were fixed elsewhere. In short, lock envy, or said another way, coveting, cost me my first set of locks. It got me to thinking, what else has coveting cost me? God warns us not to settle into a mindset of coveting, and through what is actually a quite trivial example, my locks, I understood how costly coveting can actually be. The grass is not always greener on the other side. Sometimes the thing you have right now is really the best suited thing for you. And if you sacrifice what you have in order to get what you think might be better, you may end up disappointed and with no option to recover what was originally yours. This time, all I've lost is my locks. Well, the first set anyway. And I won't ever get them back. But what if I let coveting infiltrate other, more important aspects of my life? What would it cost me? All this to say, I've combined my locks down from 722 to 563 and now to 242. And while I don't actually think the number of locks is really the point, I do, however, think that I've learned what God was trying to teach me. Even with something as trivial, frivolous as hair, he taught me that coveting is costly. And sometimes the costs that we incur from willfully entering into coveting are not always able to be reversed. Just like in this situation, I'll never get that first set of locks back. Thankfully, I have a second chance to grow another set of locks. But not all of life is like that. Sometimes the thing we sacrifice on the altar of coveting can't be reversed. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.